Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm WoWcrendor and welcome back to another episode of Vanilla WoW Stories. I really wanted to make another episode because I was looking into classic WoW and there's not much news about it. There's some things of like, oh, this video may show that Blizzard's working on classic WoW from like a month ago, and I was like, all right. I wanted some real like, oh shit, Blizzard's working on it right now news, but there's like nothing, so kind of disappointing. But as I was running around in WoW on my old Billy character, as you can see it's Billy, I was just like, you know, I have a lot of memories of Durotar and Mulgore, so those are the main areas I'm going to focus on today. Also, with my new schedule, today's normally a Fishing with Crendor day. However, as it turns out, it's hard to get somebody to sit down for an hour-long interview on like a 1 day's notice, which was essentially what I was doing. But I've got like 5 people actually that I'm going to be interviewing on Fishing with Crendor. So I've got 5 Fishing with Crendors lined up. I'm pretty excited for it. So next Thursday is going to be when Fishing with Crendor resumes every Thursday. So I'm actually really getting into the schedule thing. It's one of those things where you just gotta make yourself do it, and once you start doing it a bit, you're like, all right, and then you get in the groove of things, and it's easy. That's always been the hardest part for me, as you probably know if you've been here for a long time. Either way, I hope you enjoy this Vanilla WoW story video, and then Fishing with Crendor will be happening every other Thursday. Well, every Thursday from here on out. So let's talk about just Durotar in general. If you played Vanilla WoW, and if you played an Orc or a Troll, this was the first place you came to in World of Warcraft. You know, you came to Durotar. And Razor Hill was the first city you ever went to. Now, I think I've mentioned this before. I don't know if I mentioned this in just a random video or something, but I thought Razor Hill was Orgrimmar. So if we go all the way back over to here, right, Valley of Trials, this is where you started out, and then you went from Valley of Trials over to Sen'jin Village. Now the Trolls start at Sen'jin Village, but it used to be the second place you would go after Valley of Trials. And you'd get to around level 8 or 9, and then you'd move up to here, which would be Tirasgard Keep. You would fight off all these sailors, which I think are still here. I think they got a model update, but I think it's essentially the same stuff as Vanilla WoW had, right? Yeah, the North Watchmen, North Watch Sharpshooters, and you would fight them off. I don't think they were level 20. That seems kind of high. Maybe it's from this. Oh, it might be the new scaling thing. Maybe that's as high as they can scale up to. That's probably what it is. But yeah, they're like level 10 or something. And I remember my friend who had just started playing WoW. This is, when was this? January of 05? Oh my, this is, yeah, it's around January of 05. He was like, dude, you gotta see Orgrimmar. Like, this is crazy. It's this giant city. There's so many people there. Right, this is 2005, so a giant city with a bunch of people in an online world is just, it's blowing my mind, especially because, you know, this is like 14-year-old me or something. And I'm like, shit, dude, I gotta see this. And so we're riding up there. He's like, I know you got a level. I was like level 8. And he's like, but you gotta see Orgrimmar. So we're riding. Well, we're running because we don't got mounts yet. And I was like, oh my god, is this Orgrimmar? And I wasn't even, you know, joking or not be like, I was being completely serious. I was like, dude, is this Orgrimmar? And he is like, no, this isn't Orgrimmar. This is Razor Hill. And I was like, oh, okay. But even just seeing Razor Hill, which, by the way, it's a cool little city, Razor Hill. Like, you got all your quests you used to do here. Well, I guess a lot of them are the same quests. There's the one guy with the egg. What did these people do? I don't even remember what these did. These are like trainers now, or they used to be trainers. Or no, this is the guy with the egg. There's an egg guy over here. Yeah, but anyway, so I wanted to kind of go up the path I took to when I first saw Orgrimmar for the first time. So I kept leveling along the way, and he was like, just get a couple more levels, then we'll head to Orgrimmar. And I was like, all right. So I went through this valley, This guy got an upgrade as well. I think he just used to be an old modeled orc with like, I think he had a tiger, but it wasn't a lion type. I don't remember what he was, come to think of it. Somebody in the comments section show me what he, or tell me what he actually had. He had a cat, right? Was it a cat or a tiger? I don't remember. Oh my god, the harpies. The harpies are one of my most hated quests because I had some bad experiences with the harpies. I just died a lot. I think I was just bad, which, you know, I'm bad at games now if you watch my Hearthstone games, or just, you know, me play any game. Aside from, like, maybe League of Legends and PUBG or something, I don't know. But I remember just going up here and getting the harpy quest from this goblin guy who's also had a model update. Right.
Time is money, friend.
Try to ignore the firm feathery behinds of them harpies. But he's, you know, he tells you to go kill harpies, and you're like, alright, well, I gotta go kill the harpies. And back then, the thing was, it's not like now, where you're like, you know what? I don't want to do the harpy quest, and you move on. You had to do the quest. I think that's something a lot of people don't realize now, is that all the quests were like, you gotta do this quest, because if you don't, how are you gonna level up? Like, I hit level 58, and I ran out of quests. And I think it's because I did skip a lot of quests along the way, because I was like, whatever. And so I hit 58, and I had no quests left. And so, you pretty much had to just grind all the way to 60, which I think I did from farming Yetis in Winter Spring. And then doing some stuff in Silithus. I farmed some, like, Silithus mobs or something. So, you know, vanilla WoW. Either way, besides the point. So, you get up here, and I was like, oh my god, Orgrimmar. And it looked different than this, you know. It had the old school style buildings, which I think Razor Hill still has. And just running up to for the first time, imagine just, I'm curious to how all of your reactions were to seeing your first major city for the first time, whether it be Orgrimmar, Stormwind, Ironforge, whatever your first big city was. I remember seeing the other cities too and being blown away, because I was like, oh my god, especially Ironforge. I think Ironforge, I was like, dude, this is so cool, just this big in the mountain city, and it's like, oh, just, I guess that'd be more Stormwind, like, oh, but I love Ironforge still. It's still one of my favorite cities. So having the bank right here, jumping off the bank and everything, was one of my favorite things to do. You had the auction house, like, just going around Orgrimmar just blew my mind for the first time. And I think part of it just really, it showed you the scale of World of Warcraft compared to the other games of those times. Because, I mean, you had EverQuest, but I didn't know about EverQuest, honestly. Like, I was, you know, I was 13, 14. Like, I didn't know about that. I was like, shit, dude, this is crazy. And I think the graphic style kind of ages well. Some people disagree. They'd be like, wow, it's ugly. But I think it ages well enough to where this game came out almost 15 years ago. And I still enjoy it. I don't know. Either way, I'm going to go to Mulgore now, because I want to talk about some Mulgore stuff. They changed this in Cataclysm, right? The whole flight path thing. But I still remember the old flight tower being right here, where Garrosh, I guess that would be the bank, but like right back here, where you would go all the way up to the tower and then fly. It's muscle memoried into my brain, where I'm like, I need to go up the flight tower, and I'm like, oh, it's not like that anymore. And it hasn't been like that for a really long time. It's the same with the Zeppelins, where I try to go to the Zeppelin tower out here, and it's just, you would think by now I would have figured it out, but I haven't. I mean, obviously I know, but you know what I'm saying? Alright, let's go to Bloodhoof Village. And as I fly, by the way, I made a video a while ago called Rereading Classic Vanilla WoW Patch Notes. And one of the patch notes reminded me of Vanilla WoW, where you couldn't do what I just did, right? I clicked Bloodhoof Village. You would have to click each individual flight path to go to where you want. I forgot all about that up until I read it again. where you'd be like, man, I want to go to Bloodhoof Village. All right, click. You gotta go to Barrens, and then you're like, all right, I gotta fly down to Crossroads. Click. And you're like, all right, I gotta fly over to here. Click. All right, from Thunderbluff, I gotta go to Bloodhoof. Click. So you had to click each individual flight path, and then they actually patched it in where they were like, hey, you can just click where you want to go, and it'll auto pay for the flight path you fly over. And it was like, oh my god, that's genius. Why didn't you guys have this before? I'm so pumped for Vanilla WoW, man. I might not seem like it. And I may not seem like it in the past either, where I've been like, I don't know. But I can't wait to just live stream playing some Vanilla WoW, leveling through all this again. And I'm going to play a rogue. I know for a fact I'm going to play a rogue, and here's why. I played a hunter, obviously. Hunter was the first thing I ever leveled to 60. Priest was the second thing I ever leveled to 60, which is, you know, Crendor. That's my priest. Which is weird because it's become who I am. I've essentially become my WoW character. And then my third character I ever leveled to 60 was a warrior. And my warrior I leveled to 60 strictly out of PvP gear. I like the way PvP gear looked. I thought the warrior PvP gear was cool, so I made a warrior. And he ended up just being my gathering guy, where I would go up to Azshara in Winter Spring, and I would just go back and forth gathering herbs and mining. And I did that for hours every day. It was kind of really nice to do. I mean, I didn't do my homework, which was the thing I was supposed to be doing. But then, you know, I would just do that, and it was really fun. And I kind of miss old Azshara because of that, where it wasn't taken over by goblins. You would just, it was kind of a really chill, autumn-esque area, and you would just gather herbs. It wasn't a great questing zone, but it was a great herbalizing zone. And then you'd go up to Winter Spring, and I had a big thorium path where I would go, then you would just gather thorium. Especially right here, there was some prime thorium, and there was some good ones right over here. Which, you know, I like how I remember this like 13 years later, however long ago it was. Great times, man. Alright. So anyway, so those are the three things I leveled in Vanilla WoW. I tried leveling a Warlock, but even now, I'm not a big Warlock person. I'm not a big fan of the dots, and I don't know, I'm not a big Warlock player. Rogue, however, Rogue is the one thing that I always wanted to play in Vanilla, but I never got to play. And it probably would have been the next thing I leveled in Vanilla WoW. And because of that, I'm going to be playing a Rogue. There's a few other reasons. One is just poisons. I love Rogue poisons. The other thing is stealth in Vanilla WoW is very powerful. And rogues are just really douchey. Not gonna lie, like you can gank anybody out in PvP, you can get away from people pretty easily. And I just really want to play a rogue. Obviously, I'm gonna go to Stranglethorn and gank some people when it comes out, but I just want to play. I remember a lot of people even used to use swords, like a sword and a dagger, or like two swords for combat leveling. There's a lot of stuff people did back then for rogue leveling that I kind of remember, but I never really got into because I didn't play a rogue. So I'm excited to play a rogue. That's gonna be the thing I level. Like everything else, like Paladin, I've already leveled. I didn't level it in Vanilla WoW, but I wasn't a bit. I mean, I'd have to play Alliance as well, and I'm kind of like, what was something else? What are the other classes? Mage. I had a mage in Burning Crusade, and I mean that was good enough for me. I still had a mage in Legion, so I'm kind of maged out on that aspect. You can make money making portals and stuff, but you made water, you made food, whatever. They're fun in PvP. Let's see. There's no Death Knights, obviously. Druid. I've already played a Druid in a lot of the expansions. I have my 110 Druid. So, Rogue is just... I don't even have a max level Rogue, so I think... Rogue is what I want to be. I want to be a Rogue. The very best. No one ever was. Alright, so... This is the other place I wanted to talk about, which is Mulgore. Mulgore is... such a simplistic zone, right? It's just open plains, it's green, it's some trees, It's very Native American, and that's what I love about Mulgore. It's so simplistic, yet it feels like there's this really rich culture here for the Tauren, right? Because they're very traditional, I guess you would say, and you can kind of sense that all over. They have their buildings, their totem poles. You have like water wells, and I don't think this used to be up on a hill. I think this just used to be really open, and there didn't used to be quillboars here. They added the quillboars in Cataclysm. I think you just started out killing plain striders. You would kill plain striders, and then you would move on to like the cougars and other stuff, and then you would slowly work your way towards Bloodhoof Village. And I still remember in the World of Warcraft manual, it said Tauren don't get mounts, they get plain strider running ability because they're too big for mounts. And then I guess when main WoW launched, or actual WoW launched, they got rid of that and gave Tauren Kodos, because it was probably really weird seeing a Tauren run at, you know, super speeds around. And then you had Kodos, which I always really enjoyed Kodos too. I wanted to level a Tauren just to get a Kodo, which is another reason I made my warrior, because I made him a Tauren warrior. I would just do all that, and then you'd spend a lot of time here in Mulgore. Like, I remember spending a lot of time up in the Venture Co mine, doing all those quests. Thunderhorn Water Well is another thing. One thing I felt bad about is this the guy? Ahab Wheathoof. Is he gonna say the thing? Will you help me find my dog? I remember being like 14 and I would like make fun of this guy. Like, this guy sounds weird. This Tauren's dumb. And then I learned that it was like a Make-A-Wish kid that got to voice a Tauren guy. And so I felt really bad about, you know, making fun of it. And so now I'm like, ah, he's he's Ahab Wheathoof. Good for him. He's a cool guy. Like, how great is that? Your Make-A-Wish. You didn't want to go to Disneyland. You didn't want to, you know, do all the things all the other people. You just want to be a voice in World of Warcraft. And I think that's really cool, because now you've kind of been put in what's the word I'm looking for? You're kind of set in stone, right? You've been made, especially in World of Warcraft, you've lived through the ages. I can't think of the word, but you know, everybody knows Ahab Wheathoof, at least if you've leveled a Tauren. So good for you, Ahab. Anyway, I love the open plains. Green's my favorite color, and I love just coming here and chilling out. I want to do a fishing with Crendor here. If somebody doesn't know where they want to fish that for the next one, I'll probably do a Mulgore fishing. In fact, I think the first ever fishing with Crendor I did was in Mulgore, and I talked about how I love Mulgore. I don't know, man. Even, does anybody... This is really off topic, kind of. Anybody else remember Moo Mesa? When I was like 5 years old, Moo Mesa, the like cowboy, it's like, look them up on Google or YouTube or whatever. It's a bunch of cows, kind of like Alistar from League of Legends. And there are these cowboy cows. And they would just be in this, I don't know, old-timey western plains area, and they would do cowboy things. And it was a cartoon, and it was my favorite cartoon, and I liked it a lot. And I think that probably plays into why I enjoy this type of environment and scenery so much. I don't know. That, and I like green. And the open plains and everything are just green. Thunderbluff I don't really care about. It's more just Mulgore in general that I enjoy. Either way, I think I've talked about my nostalgia enough for now. I don't really have, not gonna lie, like back here, I kind of don't like this back area. I mainly like this whole area. This is just filled with harpies and annoying mobs and stuff, and I'm not a big fan. So I'm not even gonna go back here. Either way, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed my nostalgic rants about Vanilla WoW. If you'd like to hear more Vanilla WoW stories, leave it in the comments below, because I do enjoy making these. I enjoy reliving all my nostalgia. Very much so. Up until Vanilla WoW comes out, and then I can actually relive it in real time. Crazy. And if you want to hear any other vanilla WoW stories, I've got a bunch of them because I played the entirety of it, except for like the first month because I didn't get it in November or December. I got it January 2nd, 2005. I still remember the day. And then when I don't upload a Pointless Top 10 or a WoW Machinima, I'll probably put up a vanilla WoW story thing. If people want it badly enough. Which is going up on Monday. Monday's like my WoW video day. I'm going to be doing Legion in a minute. This Monday, I'm going to be doing a Pointless Top 10 after that. I got a whole schedule ready to rock and roll. So it should be good. Either way, thanks for watching. And I'll see you next time. Okay. Okay. See ya.